Yo, yo, yo. Um, Today's video just wanted to kind of wanted to like if you're watching this video, yo, so this video really quickly, if you're subscribed to me, like unsubscribe if you're not in sales, appointment setting, DM setting, that sort of thing. Just because simply none of my videos moving forward are actually gonna make much sense to you. If you're not in the sales space, period. That's what I'm gonna be focusing on for the next couple of years just because it's like one of the most leveraged things you could be doing. I've said in my past videos, like with sales, like if you know how to sell, if you know how to talk to people, it's like the easiest way to make leveraged income, right? You work more hours, you make more, you sell better, you make more, etc. So it's such a leverage model. So if you're going to be focusing on like copywriting, growth operating, agency, that sort of thing, like just unsubscribe. My content is not going to be valuable for you. But for those who are in sales, whether that's closing, DM setting, appointment setting, that sort of thing. I kind of want to break down what phone setting is in specific because I feel like a lot of people on YouTube or in general are just not talking about it enough. There's this huge, huge narrative that an appointment setter is just a DM setter, somebody that's on the phone DMing, answering a couple messages from the creator, from the influencer, and then setting to a closer. And that's the second form of sales that is being promoted now. It's like you're either a DM setter or a closer. Nobody's really talking about how to get into phone setting. That's just exactly what I'm going to be breaking down in this specific video. And if you go to my link in bio, like you could stop watching the video now, go to my link in bio. There's going to be 3 links to 3 different places where you can land an interview like this, like ASAP within the next 5 minutes. You can set up a time, book a time, set up an interview. There's going to be, and I'll break it down in just a second of how exactly that would work. But you're going to be going through the interview process and you can literally begin making money as soon as you land an offer within the next week. Obviously, if you pass the interviews, but that's what this video is going to be for, is going to be showing you how to go from watching this video to clicking that link to landing a position in sales within the next week, within the next 2 weeks as a phone setter, right? Obviously, if you have more experience, you can shoot for the closers, the whole closing process, but this video specific is for phone setting. So what is phone setting? Just to break it down, if you're not fully aware of it, um, you can essentially do what a DM setter does, but instead of texting somebody on Instagram, you actually call them up and you set them onto a closer's calendar. Now, it's much, much, much easier to just DM set, obviously, because like you're just texting somebody, but like the time it takes for you to actually set somebody is the timeline is way longer, right? Because you're getting back to them, they're getting back to you, that sort of thing. It just takes like a really, really, really long time to set somebody. So the cycle's a little bit longer. So if you want to set somebody like quick, phone setting is, I guess, the better option. Um, Phone setting obviously does require a little bit more of a skill set just because you're going to be talking to somebody via phone. So it's not as crazy as like a closer where you're like feeling out the body language, you're getting deep, emotional, you're pitching the price, that sort of thing. Like closing is really, really high level. Um, Phone setting is more like you're just talking to somebody on the phone, having a regular casual conversation and seeing if you can help, if the product that you're selling, you can help, right? It's really simple. It's like a 3-step formula. There's the intro, which is basically just like breaking the ice. You're calling somebody out of the blue. Obviously, they opted in, so they're a little warmer than a cold call. They're not just going to hang up on your face. But there is that little intro level. Then there's the discovery, which is just kind of figuring out their budget, their need, and their timing. That's kind of like the 3 things that we're looking for in authority. If you're selling more of like a B2B solution where you're trying to figure out who's the person that actually calls the shots, that makes the decisions. But need, budget, and timing is usually what you're going to be looking for with most offers in the phone setting space. Um, Need being like whether they need something in specific, timing being whether they um, like if they can do something right now. Yeah, look, you saw a thumbs up. Um, so need being if they actually need what you're selling, timing being if they can buy into it now or if it's something that they want to push down later down the line, and budget obviously if they have the money to actually, if they have the means to actually succeed. So besides the point. Once you go through the whole discovery, then you're doing the outro, which is just setting them up on a call with a closer. It's kind of the same thing as DM setting, except you're not just sending the link and hoping that they book. You book them in yourself. Best email, best phone number, set them, send a couple more resources, just make sure that they're going to show up and you have a high show rate. That's pretty much what the process of phone setting looks like. Now, breaking into the industry and landing a position, that's going to be a little bit more complex. Once you're in an offer, it's really, really easy to just excel, because you just have to focus on obviously having that process dialed in, and you're going to be pretty much set. So how do you actually break into the phone setting space? Like I said, there's 3 links in bio where you could book an interview literally like this, speak to one of the advisors, they'll connect you and they'll actually send interviews of different offers. So the one that I went through is close.io, which is going to be in the link in the bio. You have to have like basic sales experience. If you've sold at a gym, which I was doing before, they'll pass you through. If you've done cold calling before, they'll pass you through. If you work at, I don't know, Publix, and you've called somebody, just say you've called somebody. The point of the matter is, like, if you have even the most basic sales experience, they'll actually let you through, right? So once you get through that first interview, which you'll set up with those links down in bio, you'll actually be connected with somebody that's going to walk you through the different offers that they have available. So, you know, if you're more fitness oriented, or if you're more family oriented, or if you're more tech oriented, that sort of thing, they're going to send you offers based on what you're looking for, what you're hoping to land, what you're hoping to work for. And then they'll start sending you interviews for those specific offers. So when you get on those interviews, you're most likely going to be talking to like the setter manager or the sales manager if it's a smaller offer. And they're just going to ask you really basic questions to kind of get a feel of like who has the work ethic as well as who has the sales skills. So for the first couple of interviews, like, you might not pass them. But if you have some sales experience, if you can kind of talk, and if you have the right attitude coming into those calls, very, very easy. I can guarantee you'll be in an offer within the next week of clicking that link in bio. Like, it's really, really that simple. If you have the right attitude, if you have even remotely the most basic sales experience, you can land a position within the next week. For those that need a little bit more help, what I can tell you with the interview process is don't sound so robotic, and start picking up on the questions that the people are telling you. So usually those interviewers are asking the same types of questions for most offers, right? So when you go onto those offer interviews, kind of take note of the questions they're asking. And let's say you don't pass that interview process, the next one that you go to, you'll be able to take those questions and kind of apply them on that next interview, and have a higher chance of passing, because you kind of now are expecting like what they're actually looking for, that sort of thing. So that's pretty much the interview process when it comes to that. If you pass, there's usually like a couple of rounds. So there's the first interview, the second interview, and like the third interview. But pretty much all they're going to be doing is kind of having you go through the process. As long as you sound remotely human, it's very, very simple. I'll leave my Instagram attached down below if you want to ask me any specific questions on Instagram in regards to like the interview process, or like the triage process, or any of that stuff. And I'll be able to help you like 100%, like without a doubt. But yeah, pretty much after that, like, you're onboarding, you're getting started on the phone. There's probably going to be like a week of onboarding and training. And yeah, you're pretty much off on the dialer. You start calling, you start just talking to people on the phone and setting them, and then you're pretty much done for yeah, you're making money within the first week. Within the first 2 weeks, you're making $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month, simply by just making those calls online. And that's pretty much it for the process. So if you guys want more help, I'll leave my Instagram in bio. If you have any specific questions about the interview process, the triage process, that sort of thing, I'll also leave the links in bio that you can apply to and start the interview process. So just click the link in bio, apply, and then just let me know on Instagram if you guys need help with anything.